I get those goosebumps every time. I need the Heimlich, throw that to the side. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you...
Greetings technicians, this is Admin Crow here, your coach of the Toronto Star Raptors, bringing you another battle of the TDL. This week we're taking on Sean, aka Hegna, the coach of the Seattle Swablus. So in this video I'll be going over the battle and explaining my turn-to-turn base process and how I managed to execute the battle. So let's just jump right into it. Over here at team preview, I see that he actually brought the Ditto versus me, even though that he didn't bring it in, I believe, any other week previously, which is very interesting to note. However, though, I do have a substitute on Kieran Black to deal with that, and I was aware of it when I was team building for him. But that just means I have to play a little bit more conservatively with my Celesteela before I try to set up. So let's just jump right into the battle. So over here in turn 1, I'm just gonna lead with my Claydol as I initially planned, as he does have both the Ice Beam and the HP Fire for the Ferrothorn and the Lando T. So over here, as he goes for the Rocks turn 1, I'm just gonna be firing off an Ice Beam. You see that did 65%, that is indeed going to be a 2-hit KO. So on the following turn here, I know that he's going to be switching out. I believe that I actually either go for the Rapid Spin, yes I did, to get rid of the rocks, predicting he switch out, as I get a little bit of trip damage off on him as he went for the U-turn. On the following turn, I'm just going to be going into my Kofac, as this thing is mainly here to take on the Reuniclus, but he didn't bring that. So it's more expandable in my opinion. As I go into the Kofac, he went for his Hydro Pump with his Keldeo, which came in upon the U-turn. As you can see, it was a crit. It actually did quite a bit. I'm just gonna go for the Will-O-Wisp, predicting him wanting to switch out, as I won't be getting 2-hit KO'd by the following one if he doesn't crit me once again. Unfortunately, I do miss a Will-O-Wisp as he goes into his Scizor, knowing that he's not gonna be wanting to stay in his with his Scizor. After seeing the Will-O-Wisp, I made another play, or I guess prediction, going knockoff on the Mega Scizor, predicting him wanting to switch out. As I do get the knockoff off with a crit, I don't think that mattered at all, on the Rotom Heat, knocking off his Choice Spec, right? So I was more comfortable going into my Demonic Pillar, the Claydol, after seeing that he's Choice Spec, as he busts out the Reflect, which is kind of weird. He was Reflect with Choice Spec, so that caught me off guard a little bit. As I get up my rocks, he went for the trick to get my leftovers, my Rocky Helmet, which doesn't really matter. As I switch out into my Totoroki, the Kieran Black over here, knowing that I can live any hit he wants to go for, and he does go for the Overheat, that did 45%. I managed to get back to a reasonable healthy amount of health with my leftovers, sitting at 61 as he switched out, fearing the potential Earth Power, as I'm just going to be predicting that and going for a substitute. I did EV this Kieran Black to not get its sub broken by a Ferrothorn. However though, as I go for the Ice Beam, right, he busts out the Gyro Ball and broke my sub. I'm like, okay, maybe he's just a really offensive Ferrothorn. So knowing that he took that Ice Beam pretty well, I'm just gonna hard switch into my Fire type, my Endeavor, as he goes for the Leech Seed, predicting my switch, knowing that I don't want to stay and go for another sub. I'm just gonna be going for the Flare Blitz right here and get my KO, as he doesn't really have a good switch into my Endeavor. The Lando's gonna be KO'd upon entry, and the Keldeo is not gonna really want to take it. And as you can see that I do get a crit with a Flare Blitz, but it doesn't really matter. Even without the crit, it would have been a 2-hit KO anyways, since it took prior rocks damage plus the crit did 77%. So without it, it would have done roughly 50. But because of rocks damage, that's a guaranteed 2-hit KO. So I'm just gonna stay in and go for another one. But as he does reveal right here, his Keldeo is indeed Choice Scarfed, be able to outrun my Endeavor, the Darmanitan, and knock me out with a Scald. Knowing that he's Choice Scarf, I feel comfortable going into my Totoroki, the Kieran Black, and just get up another sub right here, I believe. Oh, I actually went for the Ice Beam, expecting him wants to switch out into one of these other members, so I just want to get damage off. So I do get Ice Beam off on the Ferrothorn. So on the following turn here, I'm just going to be switching out into my Demonic Pillar, as I am packing the HP Fire for the Ferrothorn. And it can also cover the Scizor Switch-In, which is another potential mon that will have defog if you want to get rid of the rocks that way. So I'm just gonna go for the HP Fire, as I only did 29. So he's more of a Depth variant, as I can see. So I'm just gonna be dancing around here a little bit, as I don't have the hazard pressure on my side, and I can spend the time try to figure out what type of Ferrothorn that this is. So as I go into my Kurogiri, just get off another Will-O-Wisp. Thankfully this time I landed, so this Ferrothorn is going to be burned. So right now I know the set of this Ferrothorn is indeed Gyro Ball, Leech Seed, potentially rocks, because he had rocks on his Lando. I don't know what the last move is, and I think the other move was Power Whip. I'm not sure if he revealed that at any point. So I know that my Kieran Black should be able to take a Gyro Ball now that it is burned. The calc says it does roughly 10 to 16%. So as I go into my Kieran Black here, right, he does go for the Leech Seed, expecting my switch out. So that's a double Leech Seed right there, because he knows that my Kurogiri couldn't do anything back to him. So I'm just gonna be switching back into my Kurogiri just to take the potential Gyro Ball, as you can see here, to pass on the Mummy to the Ferrothorn, so I won't be taking that residual Iron Barb damage and knock off his leftovers. Because I think he's in a position where he doesn't really want to switch, because I've been switching around quite a few turns now, and even though his Ferrothorn is burned, he still haven't gone for any hazards, and he's still not switching. I guess mainly because he doesn't really want to go into one of these other members to take the more potential rocks damage. At this point, I don't think he has defog on his team. So over here, I'm actually gonna make I guess a different play or different approach, as I go into my Tapu Koko, knowing that I can take any hit he wants to go for, because that the Ferrothorn is burned, and I don't really need health on the Tapu Koko for it to put in work. I'm just gonna be going into the Tapu Koko and go for a Volt Switch right here. Oh yeah, the last move was Protect, so it's confirmed Power Whip, Gyro Ball, Leech Seed, and Protect. So over here, I'm just gonna be going for Volt Switch, as he Protect, try to scout out what I have. I'm just gonna go for another one. He might go into the Lando, thinking that I was choiced in some way, as I just bust out the Hidden Power Ice on the following turn and be able to pick up the KO on the Lando. Finally, the first kill for the Raptors, I guess 27 turns into the game, as he goes into his Tapu Koko, right? Well, I guess he's Ditto, which copied my Tapu Koko. Knowing that he's probably Choice Scarf, I'll be able to get off a slow U-turn or slow Volt Switch on whatever comes in. So I'll be able to pick up the momentum that way. So, and because I still have a ground type of my own on the team, he's more likely to go for a U-turn than a Volt Switch. I just stay in and go for the Volt Switch, knowing that he doesn't have electric immunity anymore. As I go for the Volt Switch, I actually did 54 to the regular Scizor. That's actually a lot. So I'm just gonna go into my Gungnir, the Celesteela, and bust out the Flamethrower. As you can see, I do outspeed here. So he's a really bulky Scizor variant, as the Scizor actually outspeed me naturally, but I do have a little bit of speed investment. I'll be able to knock him out with a Flamethrower. I don't really want to set up my Autonomize right here, simply because he does still have that Ditto, and I don't want him to copy all my boost. I want to be able to switch out my Celesteela and be able to set up at a later date or a later time once I get a I guess just knock off the potential Choice Scarf on the Ditto. And as he goes into his Rotom Heat on the free switch, this part is kind of funny. I just went to my Demonic Pillar, the Claydol, tried to sack it, but as you can see, he missed 2 overheats in a row. I don't really have a move to touch a Rotom Heat. I'm just gonna be spamming Ice Beam here, just to let him kill me. And he get up a Reflect right here, but it doesn't really matter, as all the remaining members of my team are mostly special attacking anyways. So I don't know how many overheats that was. I think he missed 3 in a row, and then on the third one I actually froze him, but it didn't matter because he had a fire move. And thankfully he landed this time. It took him 4 overheats to land this, but it didn't really matter in the long run, I don't think, as I don't really have a move to touch the Rotom Heat with anyways, and I just want to sack my Claydol and get a free switch in, which I do be able to get into right here. So over here Rotom Heat is actually in range of Flamethrower. If he switch out and come back in on Rocks once again, he's gonna be living on 6%. So I'm just gonna be able to go into my Totoroki, the Kieran Black here, to get a free hit off. As he busts out the Volt Switch, he's actually faster, which I was actually genuinely surprised. Even though I'm running no speed, but I do naturally outspeed Rotom Heat. As I just go for the obvious Earth Power, he goes to the Ferrothorn to take it. As I know that I probably should be able to take a Gyro Ball with my substitute. But no, he actually broke my sub somehow. So to this day, I still don't understand how he broke my sub, because I EV'd my Kieran Black to not get its sub broken, or I guess a chance of it not get the sub broken. And plus on top, this Ferrothorn is burned, so he has to be like max attack with, I don't know, max attack with like max special defense or something, because they took the hits from Kieran Black pretty well previously. Anyways, I'm just gonna be, because I was kind of confused here, right? Like, is there a road to break my sub or something? So I actually gone for another one, thinking that he might have just got lucky and broke my sub. And as you can see, no, he still broke my sub. So over here I was like, okay, fine, I'll just knock you out, right? But no, he lived on 1%. I'm like, what? I was genuinely I was surprised once again by this OP Ferrothorn set. To this day I still don't know what his EVs are, but it's gonna be a double down right here, as he's gonna be able to go for the Gyro Ball and knock out my Kieran Black, and he's gonna be die to the burn on the same turn. So over here, right, so it's very interesting, because I can potentially lose the match right now, knowing that the Keldeo still have its Choice Scarf, and the Ditto is probably Choice Scarf as well. The Rotom Heat is not a threat, it's just Beast Boost fodder. So I'm actually gonna go into my Kurogiri, as I know that I can take any hits from any of his mons, even the Hydro Pump from Keldeo, barring a crit. I'll be able to knock off the Choice Scarf on either Ditto or his Keldeo, right? As he goes into his Ditto right here, so I calc this. I am packing a Shadow Ball on Kurogiri, so if he goes for a Choice Scarf Shadow Ball here, I actually guarantee to live, simply because I am running a max special defense EV, or I guess variant, with Calm Nature. So I'm basically running as much special defense as possible, right? So the max damage he can do right here is actually 43%. As you can see, well, I guess he didn't get the max roll, he got 42, so which is pretty much a max roll in that regard. As I will be able to follow it up with a knockoff and just knock off the Choice Scarf on this Ditto. So it's a speed tie right here. So he says, hey, speed tie, let's go. But yes, I stayed in and gone for attack, but I actually didn't go for the Shadow Ball. The reason being that I actually don't want to knock out this Ditto. I guess I wouldn't have been able to knock it out anyways, even if I gone for the Shadow Ball. But in case of a crit or something, I actually don't want to knock him out. That's why I just gone for another knockoff in case he wants to switch or something, or stay in. It's just my better play, and I'm just gonna let him knock me out with another Shadow Ball. As you can see over here, I'm actually gonna be going into my Celesteela, the Gungnir, simply because I want to use this Ditto as a setup fodder. So if he wants to copy all my stats, right, he has to go into Rotom or Keldeo this turn, and then be able to preserve his Ditto and just go for a 50-50 later on, since the Ditto right now already lost its Choice Scarf. It lost the guaranteed method to outspeed my Gungnir, or just be able to finish up the remaining 2 members of my team. So the better play for me here is to set up. However, I do get autonomized off. As he stay in, just go for another knockoff. Knowing my own stat, I know that this Kurogiri or this Kovac doesn't have any way to touch me. As he does find out right here I am Z-move, I'm just gonna be knocking him out with an Infernal Overdrive. That's just the best play. So over there, he could have switched even on the following turn just to stack his Rotom Heat and just burn my Z move, because he already know that I am Z Crystal, right? So I guess the only way I'll be able to knock out that Kofak or the Ditto from that range is with a Z move. So that was another play he could have done. But even though he can preserve his Ditto by stacking his Rotom Heat at, I guess, any given turn, on the turn that I set up or on the turn I go for the overdrive, but it's still a 50-50 again later, simply because my Tapu Koko does outspeed my Celesteela. So it actually came in really clutch because Coco's base speed. Both my Celesteela and Coco were EV to outspeed his Keldeo by 1 point. However, because the gigantic base speed of Tapu Koko, there's no specific EV that I can put that only outspeed the Keldeo by 1 point. So I end up outspeeding the Keldeo by 2 points. So which means after Autonomize, my Tapu Koko still outspeed my Celesteela by 1 point, which is very interesting though. So he doesn't know that. So even if he try to copy my Gungnir or Celesteela setup with his Ditto and be able to knock me out, so basically win 150-50 after stacking the Rotom right there, so he'll be left with a not Choice Scarf Ditto and a Choice Scarf Keldeo, right? And he has to win the 50-50 right there to knock out my Celesteela, and my Tapu Koko can knock him out on the following turn with Volt Switch or just T-Bolt. And he will be forced to go into his Keldeo. He might be able to, actually never calc this, but he might be able to knock me out with a Hydro Pump with his timid Keldeo. It has to be timid simply because I might run a Choice Scarf Darmanitan. I'm pretty sure he needs to be timid to outrun a Jolly Darmanitan or a Kyurem Black anyways. So I might have a chance to live, I think it's a roll to live his Hydro Pump from his Keldeo. And he first of all has to get the roll, and secondly has to land the Hydro Pump. That's why I feel more comfortable. I really didn't want to put myself in a situation where I have to risk the 50-50, but as the match was played out, I already put myself in a situation where I was at the best, I would say the best situation as possible, or I guess just put myself in a situation where I can win without relying on the Celesteela pretty much, after realizing that my Tapu Koko does outspeed. And yeah, I'm really happy how I execute out the match, even though that I believe it was a misplay for Sean not to stack the Rotom Heat there in the end. However, he still have to get the 50-50 and then get a roll on Tapu Koko over there to win. So anyways, this is actually a really good game in my opinion. So GG to Sean for sure. Alright then, see you guys in the next one. Admin Crow here signing off. Goodbye technicians.